Hello everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome to another video. This is a video log talking about Inércia demo party that just happened last weekend. I was helping organize it. I was mostly in charge of the compos, gathering all of the entries, spamming a little bit online to get some compos going. Main organizer was Genio. He did a tireless job multiple months throughout the year to secure physical location, because he insisted he wanted a real physical party. Not many people showed up locally. We had like 13-15 people overall, but it was really cool to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in like 2 years. Great to see them again, chat a little bit with them, even though I was quite busy with all the compo stuff. It was still nice to hang out and see them again and see people trying to do more stuff creatively. The overall Inércia went pretty well in terms of our organization. We mostly stick to the schedule. There were some issues, but we managed to fix it. Like the compo machine wasn't playing the executable 4Ks, for example. It just had a widescreen. Turns out it was NVIDIA drivers that deprecated GL frag coordinates. There was a bit of a scare on on Sunday morning, but we managed to figure it out. Other stuff that also happened, like some Russian people tried to submit some entries and they couldn't because Inércia.pt is banned or blocked somehow in Russia. Not sure if it's like a block that was made on purpose or just the DNS doesn't propagate properly all the way to Russia. I don't know, it was weird. We managed to get the entry in the end, but there was also some weird stuff. So a lot of small things like that are trying to organize, and changing stuff from compos on last minute, literally on the last minute, changing something from the graphics compo to the photo compo, leaves a hole in the middle of the numbering, and then you try to refresh, change stuff around and refresh on Woohoo, and stuff was suddenly broken. You have to rush check if it's still working, and the voting is wrong because of that. A lot of small stuff like that, but overall that's sort of normal. That happens at every demo party. We managed to find the things, fix them on time, preemptively expect a lot of the things of the KVADs that usually show up. So in that regard, it was a pretty smooth organization overall. So I'm happy with how we did. Genio for all the stuff he did. Alien for all the help he helped during the building up, the tearing down, and also while we were doing the compos and the slides and the stream, he was also helping along with me and Genio. And Evil got us a compo machine with a very good graphics card, so thank you for that as well. And that was pretty much the main organizing team. 4 people to organize the entire Inércia demo party. Seen a lot of other demo parties being run by like double, triple the number of people, doing much worse than we did in terms of productions and in terms of production, either live stream or locally, physically. So very happy with how we managed things, and yeah, I think it's something to consider if we should keep doing Inércia or not, despite the low number of local attendance. But I'll talk more about that later on the video. I want to go step by step for all the compos that showed up and give you a little bit of lowdown on what happened. And yeah, so the first main competition that we had was the Shader Royale. We had more people than last year, which was the first time ever that the Shader Royale was organized, so that was good. Less people than on the Shader Jams that we do, on the Shader Royale Jams, where we have everyone coding at the same time. But I think that's normal. I think people don't like the competitive nature of the Shader Royale format itself. They prefer the jam format of things. So it's easier to convince people to join on that. And a lot of people that usually participate were just tired and overworked with stuff and didn't want to join, which is, I completely understand. You can't join for everything, and we kind of need some rotation of fresh blood as well to replace those people that kind of aren't there all the time or somehow retire from live shader coding. I think overall it went pretty well. We had an interesting test from Totetmat. He did a few scripts, 2 different scripts in particular. One to do pre-recorded typing of the stuff, doing like a proof of concept that you can pre-write all the things and then just hit the script and it runs when it's supposed to start. So it's less stressful, and it's also a way to cheat. Especially online, it will be very easy to pull that off. But we knew that ahead of time, and this is why there's no prizes involved. It's just for the fun of it, and we mentioned it throughout the stream, so that was fine. Another script that it did was to prepare all the layouts to present each different coder based on the database that we have been building up on livecodemozoo.org. And that was pretty cool. Like you saw the name of the person, all the participations on the different events, the placings that they had, like screenshots of all the shaders that they did throughout these different events. It was really cool, and I think that was a really good addition. And I think other shader live coding competitions that exist out there could really use this as well when presenting the guests. So for future shader showdowns and shader jams, I think this would be a really cool script to reuse. And very happy that Totetmat put it together, and hopefully it will. Not sure if it's already on the repository, but it should be public sometime soon. One of the downsides that I had on the compo was that I couldn't convince anyone to locally participate. We only have like 4 talented live shader coders on in Portugal, and none of them were willing to participate. Paulo Falcão doesn't want to code live, which is fine. Anticor wasn't able to go to come to the party place on last minute because of reasons, which is also fine. Alien was helping with the organization, so he didn't want to be coding, and Chernobyl is too rusty from live coding and didn't want to really join either. So I was really looking forward to have like 1 or 2 people physically head to head and looking at the big screen, and having the local people rooting for them or something like that. That was an idea that I had in my head that didn't come true. Hopefully in the future it will become a reality. Let's see. Other stuff that happened on the first day in Material Maker, we had a very cool seminar by Paulo Falcão explaining all the intricacies of Material Maker. A lot of people in the hall were trying out Material Maker as he was giving the seminar. It went a little bit over the time estimated, but sadly no one seemed to want to participate on the Material Maker compo. Like, they were fiddling around, but then they didn't want to submit. The only person who submitted was Zero Shift, and was nothing special, just like a rocket-shaped sort of thing. Was really hoping for more participations locally and remotely. Don't know why people didn't really adhere to it. They were afraid to show that what they were doing. I don't know. I asked like 4 different people at the party place that were messing with Material Maker, but they didn't want to like submit anything for the compo, which I find bad to avoid a nastier word, but well, it is what it is. I didn't have time to participate because I was busy organizing the whole thing, but I definitely would have submitted something if I hadn't been busy with that stuff. Anyways, the seminar went pretty well on Material Maker. I recommend you checking out. All of our recordings are on both Twitch TV, video on demand, and on YouTube, so you can check in either of those platforms. And yeah, check out the seminar. I think it's also gonna get edited and put on Paulo Falcão's YouTube page as well, so you can check it from there eventually in a few days' time or something like that. Another seminar that we had was Boo's seminar on the Nintendo 64 homebrewing scene, and it was also quite good. I learned a lot about the N64 and the whole homebrewing scene that it has, all the ways that you can do different stuff. It's not really my cup of tea, mainly because I never owned an N64, so I don't have that attachment to it, but it was still interesting to learn about it. By the way, if anyone knows how to spoof or sniff a serial printer connection, or crack executable to bypass that requirement of having a serial printer and instead just dump the contents to a text file, that would be really useful to have for the N64. They're actively looking for cracker, patcher, whatever you want to call yourself, a hacker, to do that kind of service to hack an old audio tool that existed officially that required printer port connection to operate properly, and they're trying to get all the information out of that executable, but they can't because they need a physical connection, and there aren't that many in the market left. There's one person that has one borrow that may have it back, and if we could maybe figure out a way to sniff the connection between the printer, maybe that would be a way to go, to know the protocol that's being involved and then spoof the printer connection somehow. So if anyone is interested in this kind of stuff, please get in contact with Boo. He's looking for people who could do that and give the homebrew scene of Nintendo 64 some love. The console is ignored by Nintendo, so this is like completely legal stuff at this point. Everything is being disused. It's mainly for homebrew purposes now, but Nintendo never released the source code of this particular executable, and it could be useful in terms of producing music for the Nintendo 64. So if anyone has any knowledge about that, please contact Boo and give him a hand, give him some pro tips, what you would use to do that, and get some extra information if you want to pick up on that project. Would be really cool. Other stuff that we had a drone compo as well on Saturday, which was really cool. We had one already last year on the online edition, so we decided to continue. Some people were asking about it, so I decided to continue. We had pretty decent amount of entries, and all of them were quite good. In retrospect, I think we should have switched the order of the compos, have the drone compo right after dinner, and then after the drone compo we would have the shader royale instead of the other way around. It felt like a bit of a break in terms of momentum of the whole evening in that regard, but it was still a good compo. I enjoyed myself. I had a little trouble finding visuals at the last moment. We ended up showing some shaders from Shader Toy, which were okay. I think it was acceptable, but definitely last year I put more effort into that competition. And maybe for next year we can have like a competition to do visuals for drones, for the drone music compo, and that could work. Also, some people suggested maybe 4K executable drone compo. That could also be interesting. Like try to use Oidos, Forklang, and other kinds of executable way to the music to do the drone with. Should be doable. Making drones is relatively simple in terms of stuff involved. It's usually just a single frequency and maybe some reverb. So it could be interesting to what people could do with that. So food for thought, maybe for the future. Let me know what you think on the comments below. Then we had the Byte Jam, which was also pretty cool. The most cool stuff of it was that we didn't have to organize it ourselves. Aldroid took care of all that stuff. We had 4 people coding. We had Mibri doing sounds, and it was really cool. We were mostly drinking beer and decompressing from all the Orga stuff. And when I came back, I saw that Mentortronic was making fun of me while doing the jam, working on an entry for the compo that was happening on Sunday, which was really funny. So thank you, Mentortronic, for giving me some laughs on that evening as well. Overall, I think the Byte Jam went pretty well. A nice way to round up the evening. The next day on Sunday, we had a lot of good compos as well. The tracked music compo was pretty good. A lot of entries on that one. There was a freestyle music compo which also had quite a few number of entries. I ended up winning that one. What the fuck? I'm not supposed to win any music compos. That's not how it goes. I'm not used to that. It was a collaboration with a poet friend of mine here from Almada. We did a track like 2-3 years ago, something like that, and it was kept in the shelf waiting for something. And I'm releasing a compilation through Enough Records in a few days at 8th of November if everything goes well. And I featured that track there. So when I was looking at what I can sent to Inércia, I thought, well, why not like do a smaller version, because the compo was limited to 4 minutes, and put it on Inércia, just, compo filler, have something to make people listen to. And a lot of people seem to like it, and I ended up winning the compo, which was really interesting. So hope you enjoyed the track. Great that you enjoyed. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. I'm not used to winning music compos. What more? Graphics compo, we had some pretty good graphics entries as well. A lot of photo entries as well. Thank you for all the remote submissions. Some coding compos also. We had 256 byte compo, which had quite a large number of entries, and also all sorts of different kind of platforms, which is really cool. The 512 byte compo was my favorite of Inércia. We did a special one just for the TIC 80. Because we were talking after Love Bite Battlegrounds that 512 bytes might be like the sweeter than 256, because you could do more with music and more with like progression of the thing to make it a more interesting thing, not just a single effect with some sorry ass sound, but actually something more intricate. So Yobe was on track with that. Pestis was on track with that. I had to do something because Inércia is my party. I need to contribute to this compo. Since I was the one who had the idea and everything. I did something. Other people also picked up. So Dave did something. Was his first entry ever, but he watched us talking about the TIC 80 size coding stuff, and he decided to have a go at it. So it was great to have his first release there as well. And a couple other people also submitted. So turned out a pretty good compo. Pestis did a mind-blowing release. A lot of progression on that single effect, and great music. Totally overwhelmed how that was possible. Yobe's intro was pretty good as well. So those two were my favorites, and I'm happy people had a little bit of a laugh with mine. I wasn't expecting to win, but I knew that it was interesting. In retrospect, I probably should have named it a bit more obviously, but I wanted it to be like a surprise of some sort. I don't know. I think I named it wrong at the end of the day, so that's why I'm mentioning it now. And we had the demo compo, which had a lot of entries as well, a lot of remotes, a lot of people who wanted to support the party. Thank you so much for submitting something. It was great to host your entries and show them on the big screen. The demo that ended up winning was about nachos, because nachos are important. Thank you, Mali and Black Pawn and Cranksky for doing that demo. It was really fun to seeing it. Definitely a party demo, not much replay value, but it was definitely funny. And yeah, the whole hype that you did based on the nachos throughout the party was very, very cool. So yeah, those were the compos. It was really great to see everyone again, even with a low turnout. Was sort of expected. I mean, pandemic is still there. Some people didn't want to come because they didn't want to be submitted to the physical exam, even if they were already vaccinated. And I'm sure a lot of other people just didn't come because like the physical location was only announced 1 month before the event. All sorts of other events are also popping up in Portugal, because a lot of population is vaccinated, so a lot of music events also, so that might have also played some sort of role in people had other stuff to check out and go out for instead of demo party. But yeah, the turnout was a bit low, but overall it was okay, I think. For I'm pretty sure that other demo parties out there, that are also being held physically after the pandemic also have a lot lower turnout number of people than they had pre-pandemic. To have numbers for that would be cool to actually check with Function and Deadline and Underground Conference, I guess, to check those numbers. But that's the feeling that I have. Like a lot of people still can't travel out of health concerns or restriction concerns. So yeah. People on the stream also seem to have a great time. We had a lot of people watching, over 100, which was really cool, which pretty much what we had already last year. Great that we had the same number in physical event now, because 2 years ago in 2019, our stream was like 20, 30 people as far as I remember. So it was really cool to have like 100 people now. So that only comes to show that the demo scene started paying a lot more attention to the live streams. Not sure it's just because it's me and Genio in particular, because we've been doing so many appearances in different demo parties and helping with other demo parties and hosting stuff with the live stream. So we might have, generated a little bit of a community that will check whatever we announce that is coming up. That definitely played a little bit of a role, but I think overall the demo scene is a lot more interested in what's happening in the live stream, because they can't go there physically, so they need something. And there's like a demo party almost every week. Shut up, cat, I'm trying to speak. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, if we're going to have another Inércia or not. We want another Inércia, but no one wants to be the main organizer for it, because we kind of tired of pushing it ourselves. I'm speaking mostly for me and Genio. But a lot of people on the stream were saying that they want next year they'll definitely come to Inércia. We heard that one before. I'm wondering if it's actually true this time. If we really organize it, if the masses will really fly in from abroad to attend Inércia demo party, or if we're gonna just end up with 1, 2, 3 foreigners like we usually used to have when were organizing back in the day. So yeah, Genio says he doesn't want to be the main organizer next year. I think he's mostly trying to provoke the rest of the Portuguese scene to get more involved. Again, organizing things. I'm not sure if I want to pick up the role, but I definitely don't want to pick up the role if I'm the only person pushing for it. I don't want to have a reprise of what happened last year, where I felt like I was the only one doing promotion for the event, because no one cared about an online Inércia apparently all of a sudden. And it turned out a pretty good event. So yeah, I don't know. What do you want, Kat? I'm trying to film a video. What do you want from me? She wants to come to my lap. That's what she wants. So yeah, but I mean, Genio had some talk with all the people who were there. He explained the whole situation, that it's mostly me and him pushing the wagon, and that we need more help. There were some talks about reigniting the association of Inércia that we used to have as a non-profit youth thing back in 2001 to 2006, which was kind of abandoned. Like, no one apparently closed it, but we're not really youngs anymore. We're not young people anymore, so it's kind of illegal, and we haven't been doing the regular meetings and paying the quotes, it's not quotes that is called. What is it? I don't remember the name. The stuff that you're supposed to pay every year or every month. So it's kind of in an illegal situation, and some people are going to look into bringing it back into some other sort of association, and maybe that will help, revive the Portuguese scene a little bit and bring back the people that were dormant and bring some new blood as well. I'm a bit skeptic in those things, but I will not be leading that process, but if people want to lead that process, I will help in whatever way that I can. Same thing for a website. I want to do a website for the Portuguese scene. I've heard that one before like 4 or 5 times. It always ends up me managing the site and no one else caring to submit anything for it or following the demo scene in the slightest, and it becomes just more work for me, and I rather do stuff for me than do stuff for the Portuguese scene that no one else seems to give a shit about. So I'm not gonna be the one stuck in that position again. I've already done that 4 times in my life. I'm too old for that shit. If you want to do a page about the Portuguese demo scene, I'll contribute in whatever way I can, but I'm not going to be the only person managing it. If I end up in that stuff, I will just close it and not submit any updates anymore. So that's my position in that regard. I don't think a portal of the Portuguese scene would save the Portuguese scene, revitalize the Portuguese scene. I think it's about the people, and the main problem on the Portuguese scene is the same that is on the other scenes. People getting old, getting alive, getting kids, work, change of interests. Less number of people are interested in the demo scene. We have to do outreach work to get new blood in, but people don't have time for that either. And it becomes a little bit of a luck. Maybe we get 1-2 new people a year to do some new stuff. We have some actual new Portuguese demo sceners that have been showing up. Alien, Anticore. There's this new kid, Tardigrade, that was also talking about doing stuff, even though he didn't do anything for Inércia. So there are other Portuguese people around. They are like completely new and have made or expressed interest in doing stuff, but at the same time there are a lot of people that used to be in the demo scene that completely disappeared, and we pinged them about Inércia and they don't reply to our emails. So I don't know. We would need to do more of that kind of outreach to get a proper community going that would be enough to warrant regular organization of stuff that's not just, 6 people having beers. In my humble opinion, at least. But let's see how things evolve. If the hype of that Genio injected into everyone, if it will lead to something, or if it will just die down in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Let's see how things evolve. Regardless of that, Garfield bought the Scene PT domain because he was checking it at the party place. It was available. He bought it immediately, so something will eventually appear at the address scene.pt or at the domain scene.pt. So let's wait and see for that. And for now, I don't know what's going to happen. Probably we'll organize some momentum events like local gatherings to keep the spirits up and try to convince more people to get involved in organizing Inércia for 2022. I would definitely like to see an Inércia in 2022. I don't want to be the single main organizer of it though. I don't mind doing some of the work that it entails, like spamming online, the compos, helping build up, discussing those kind of things, those kind of logistics, managing the website to some degree. I don't mind doing that kind of work. I don't want to be the only person doing all of that work though, like I did last year and like Genio did this year. So yeah. Maybe you can figure out some sort of compromise and get people more involved in that. So yeah, don't know about Inércia. Should happen next year. Who knows? So yeah, if you enjoyed Inércia, if you want another Inércia next year, let me know in the comments below. Spam all your Portuguese demo sceners and demo scener wannabes that we should make it happen. And that they should help me and Genio make it happen, so it's not just so it doesn't feel like it's me and Genio doing stuff for 12 people to show up. Yeah, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. A lot of food for thought. See you next party. Don't forget to come to Inércia Demo Party 2022. See you next video. Bye bye everyone. Take care.